We're doing a talk on landscape and poverty, and really that's what our practice is interested in. I started in local government for over 10 years, we were just alluding to that earlier, and working in the public sector. I went there because I really wanted to really improve the lot of all of the people perhaps who weren't as fortunate as myself. I've always wanted to do that, and I saw landscape as the way to actually be able to achieve that. So in practice, I then had a practice now which will have its 20th anniversary birthday in May, and I'm really proud of a lot of the work that we've done. I'm going to be talking about a scheme that we're just recently working on in Barrow-in-Furness in Cumbria today, and I know it's going to shock people. The reality is we're looking at a place there where there are 600 homes in flats, in beautiful blocks, in a conservation area where, to be honest, people, if you're in London, they'd be going, I'll have one of those, I'll buy one of those, they're absolutely fantastic. In Barrow, 480 of those 600 are unoccupied, the buildings are rotting, and you can buy one with a credit card, a 2-bed, 2-bath, for about £7,500. So you have a scenario there where none of the economics is working at all. It's a problem where the people in the southeast and in London tonight will have almost no understanding of some of the realities that are happening even within our own country. But the landscape work there is about trying to change the whole look, the appeal of that entire place and that neighbourhood, so that once again it can become a live, economically vibrant and vital place, and a key piece of the community which it always has been in the past. The bottom line is we are the profession that links humanity with natural systems. That is the most compulsive, necessary, important, relevant topic for the world, for the whole world. We're going to see, with the world population growth of 3 billion, we're going to see population growth in this country. Perhaps 5 or 6 million people will come here. That's the likely estimate. That's 12 more Bristols in England. No one's thinking about that. No one's thinking about land in that way. The challenge for our profession is to really start to lock horns and start to understand the complexities of landscapes, urban and rural, and make sense of these big challenges that are coming. Food is cheap today. We're building all over our green fields. We're putting housing on our fields because a farmer is going, there's no money in farming. I'll sell you that field and make a lot of money for the increased land value of that housing. We're going to probably be paving over, just with the allotted sites that we've already seen that the local councils have had to bring forward, probably between 500 and 800 square miles of countryside. When we get to 2050 and we look back at that decision and we have increased suburbia sprawled on the edges of our towns, more cars, you can't service them easily, more waste management to have to deal with, problems for councils, elderly people increasingly not in the places where you want them to be, in the middle of town where the services exist, where they're not going to be lonely, we will be looking back and going, hang on a minute, we made a big mistake there. Landscape, huge challenge, huge agenda, and we need to be at the front of it. When I think of the public, and a lot of designers think of the public, they see them often as a block. You think NIMBYism. If I say, I want to redevelop your neighbourhood, I want to come here and make any level of change, people's natural reaction, I think, is to go, oh, I'm not certain I want that. In fact, I'm very nervous of that. And we have a history of recent developments, certainly large scale, and particularly when you're talking about housing, we have a real history of getting that wrong. We've seen the housing, postmodernism housing in the 50s and 60s and the 70s. We have spent the late 70s, the 80s and the 90s knocking the stuff down that we built then because it simply wasn't good enough. For whatever reason, lots of complex reasons for that. What we've got to show is that we can develop things that are fantastic. You can go to Clerkenwell, you can go down by the river, and you can look at flats, high density places to live, which are fantastic. They're low cost, they're beautiful, they're really quality environments in which to live in. And the landscapes that are going around those neighbourhoods and the places where you feel safe, where you can meet, where you can socialise, where you can play, where you can do all the things that you need to do should be able to happen in our towns. So we need to reverse this swing of dead high streets and people trying to move away from towns and get them back into the middle of our towns where we can service them effectively. So it's all about people, but it's about persuasion. It's about them understanding that these are good things that are going to happen to them. They're not bad things.